Hi, and welcome to a brief overview of the Khan Academy SAT preparation site. This video is meant just to be a quick introduction to students, for students rather, who have not been to the Khan Academy site. There's just a limited number of weeks before the SAT in the spring of 2018 as I record this. So I'm hoping that students who have not yet had a chance to visit the Khan Academy site will do so and at least try one or two of the practice tests before the SAT test in early April. So again, this is not meant to be a detailed look at College Board or Khan Academy sites, but enough to get you going. Okay, first of all, the address to get to this page is khanacademy.org /SAT. So you'll see that hopefully up at the top here, khanacademy.org /SAT. And when you go there, you'll get land on this page. There is a link where it says to start practicing. What I'm going to do is log in. I actually have created, because I've gotten into the site and wanted to practice with it, I have a login. Before I do that, though, I just want to show you an overview of some of the things that are there. There are 8 full-length practice tests, plus all kinds of study and test-taking tips and things like that. So there's no shortage of resources on this page. There's practice and so on, and it actually talks about a tailored practice plan. If you link your College Board account with the Khan Academy, they work together very closely, then it will actually take scores and your results from a PSAT test, if you've taken that, bring them into the Khan site and show you the areas in particular that you should work on so you can target your practice. But I just want to show you one more thing before I log in. This is important. They've done research on the value of practice and the Khan Academy site in particular. And what they found is that 20 hours of practice on the Khan Academy site is associated with an average 115-point score increase from the PSAT to the SAT. Now that's that's double the normal average gain without Khan Academy. So normally students' scores do go up from the PSAT, but basically you can double that increase on average by practicing. And 20 hours sounds like a lot. Number one, you don't have to do 20 hours. Even 10 hours is going to lead to improvement. But when you split that up over a few weeks, 20 hours is just a few hours here and there over the next 3.5 weeks. Okay, so it works. So give it a shot. So I'm going to log in now and show you what you can do. When you log in, and there's no cost for that, the nice thing about that is it saves whatever you've done. You log back in and you can pick up where you left off before without having to start from scratch. So I strongly encourage you, when you get to the Khan Academy site, create a login, a username, password. It's all free. So I'm going to click on Start Practicing now and show you what Khan provides. Really at the very top is kind of where what I use to navigate around. Full tests are right here. When you're ready to try a full test, you can do that. I'll click on that just in a bit. Another important area is the tips and strategies page. I'll show you that in a little bit as well. And then there's the practice site. So on this dashboard, and that's what this is, there's a few things you can do. If you want to link back to your College Board site, and the College Board is actually the organization that writes and scores the PSAT and the SAT test. So it's really the main organization, but they're linked very closely to Khan. So you can click right here and link into the collegeboard.org site. For that site, you're going to have to know your the email address that you used for the PSAT and the password. You can request your password to be reset or sent to you if you don't remember it. Okay, we're not going to spend time on the College Board site, but it also has practice. It has practice tests, things like that. So it's another great site. What I want to show you here, though, is when you log in, if you haven't done any of the practice, if you haven't done the PSAT, or you don't think you can remember your password to get into there, if you simply click on one of these, either math or the reading and writing, and then what you'll see is it jumps me to this page right here, and you'll see some tabs, a math tab, the reading and writing tab, and so on. And down here, let me see if I can make this a little bigger so you can see it better. It's got some relatively short diagnostic quizzes. So what you might want to do to start out is just take one of the quizzes. There are 2 in reading and there are 2 quizzes for writing and language. And so you just jump in whichever one you want, and in this case I've already done it, so it says review my answers. In this case it says take the quiz. And so you can do that. It'll break down your results and actually show where you need practice and what skills you need to focus on. Because I've done the reading test, at least that one before, what you'll see right over here is it will talk about the science part of reading. In other words, there's a science passage, and I've got 3 out of 4 little pies, if you will, that are completed. So that's pretty good. When you have just 1 or 2 or maybe none of these filled in, that's an indication that you may need to practice some in that area. Okay? Now, Khan Academy has all kinds of ways of practicing. Off to the right, if you want to see exactly what a reading, science-related quiz or test questions would be like, these are actually links to videos that will open up. Right now they're on pause signs. That's the icon because I've already started the video. But if you look down a little bit, I've never played the how-to part 2 video. Well, let's do that now so we can jump right to that. I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear this through the recording.
Now that we've read this passage, let's see if we can answer the question. So the first question, the stance Jordan takes in the passage is best described.
So that is Sal Khan himself, the person who started the Khan Academy, and he will take you through items in a passage in a lot of detail. So if you want to see how he tackles these things, and he's got some good tips, go ahead and just listen to it before tackling the items on your own. You don't have to do that, but I just want to show you that that's there. And those are there for math, the reading, and the writing questions. Okay, so right now we're just looking at the reading. So you can practice by doing that. If I click here on the practice link, it will have a passage for me. It's an example of one of the science passages. There are several different kinds of reading passages on the SAT. And then there are 11 questions on this passage, just like there's 11 questions on every passage in the reading exam. This video is not, the goal of the video is not to teach you about the reading, the writing, and the math exams, but to show you the tools that are there. So I'm going to click exit this practice right now, but certainly I could go through, try one question at a time, and then it would actually, show me how I did on that particular question. We submit those answers for the 11 questions and see how we did, and it'll tell you why if you didn't get it right. Again, here's a link to the video. So there's a lot of ways of getting around this site. You guys are pretty good at this stuff, so you probably, be able to navigate it pretty quickly. So there's the reading and writing section, the math. There's also diagnostic quizzes in there. There's 2 quizzes for the questions that the SAT folks allow you to use a calculator for. There are 2 diagnostic quizzes those are on the left are for no calculator, and then those on the right, quiz 3 and quiz 4, you could use a calculator if you want. There's also a sample essay question. So you can go ahead and take the diagnostic quizzes and see how you do. Okay. This part right here, tips and strategies, is pretty helpful. It actually breaks down all the the SAT in general. But as you scroll down, again, great tips here. I don't want to go too fast, but this says general SAT strategies. In this case, with this icon, this is just going to be a web page or a document. When you see this icon, and it will be a play button if you haven't played it yet, but since I've started that and it remembers that I started it, it's shown as a pause button. So you can get just general good strategies for succeeding on the SAT, and then more specifically it gets to the different tests, the reading test and the writing test and so on. There's sections on reading test strategies. So if you've never looked into any of these things, it's well worth your time to spend a little bit of time exploring them. Check out the strategies, learn about the test, learn about how many items, how much time you have for each item, and so on. And then you can go ahead and tackle the practice tests. Okay, So again, this is the tips and strategies section. If you go up to the top, you click here, and it's just a long list going right through the different exams, the reading, the writing and language, and then we're going to get down to the math part as well. Okay? So, and then the essay as well, and you'll be writing an essay as part of your SAT test coming up in April. Okay? So all kinds of information that can help you there. And then kind of near the end now, I'm going to click on where it says full tests. And as it said, there are 8 different tests to take. That's more than enough for you to practice. What's nice about these, when you complete them, they're automatically scored. You can check your items, why you got some right, why some were wrong. And then it takes that information and it puts it back into that practice component, so you can, it uses your results to say, look, you've got this. Don't spend time on the reading science, spend time on the reading history, for example, because that's an area maybe where you struggle. So it's really a neat setup, but you've got to dig in and do something to give it some information so it then knows, how to tell you what you need help with. Okay, when you click on these, I've started some of them periodically. Let me see. I think I'm actually going to reset this test 1. It says, I say, yes, I want to reset it. Okay. So what you'll see, again, all the tests are here. So if you have time on a Saturday or a Sunday morning or afternoon, you can run through the whole test. Take breaks in between, because you will get breaks during the actual test. But it'll give you an idea of how long it is. So you may want to just try one like that. You don't have to go through it from start to finish. But what you'll see is the reading test, which is the first one you'll encounter on test day, is 65 minutes. And then it's kind of grayed out, but then you can do the writing test. And then the 2 math tests are also 25 minutes and 55 minutes in particular. Okay, so if I click on this arrow over here, it will indeed give me that test. Here's test 2 and so on. So when I'm ready to start, it looks like it's not allowing me to jump ahead here, so I think I'm going to have to do the reading. We actually have the directions, and then once you've read the directions, you go ahead and you can start the timer. It says once you start the timer, you cannot pause this section. So be ready with a good hour or 65 minutes to get started. And then again, you're going to get your directions, and you can continue on to the first passage and the first questions. Okay, so you should be able to do this on your Chromebook, which is kind of nice. It's handy if you have your Chromebook with you and you've got some time. Go ahead and try a practice test and at least one section, and then you can pause it. And if you only get through a few questions, you can always reset it and then come back and start it over again. Okay, so I'm clicking finish this section. And it says, are you sure you want to finish the section? And I'm going to say yes. Now, what I don't know is how long I could sit here paused like this. If I had to go down and get a snack or something like that, I'm not positive. But you guys can test this. You can always reset the test. So I'm going to say yes, I'm done with this section. And then it'll tell you how much break you would have before the next one. Okay? So I'm going to exit that right now. And when you're done, you would get, of course, a score report, which would be great. So that's basically it. Again, this is just meant to be kind of a nutshell, showing you the site, and really it's up to you. I'm going to go back to the dashboard, and you could just click around. But I think the parts you're going to find the most practical are the practice page, where you'll see the diagnostic quizzes, and note that there are different tabs for different tests. Okay, and also links to tips and strategies. Those are just general tips and information about each test, and then the full tests overall. Okay, so whatever you do, get out there and do something. It will help. You'll be more comfortable when the test comes. And thanks for viewing this, and good luck.